Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Schimmel. Wow. Wow, I don't know if I could live up to that. Boy, it's really exciting for me to be here. You know, a lot's happened since the last time I shot a comedy special. I got my own TV show, then I got cancer. I got you. Nothing's that good in my life. Don't jump in like that. So I got cancer, then I lost the TV show. And I lost the ball. Not to cancer, my insurance has a fucked up copay. And I met my soulmate, and then I lost my wife when she found out about the soulmate. And then she sued me for divorce, and then I lost the house, and now I'm remarried. But more than that, I'm back. I'm back 8 years. Thank you. Thanks. Yes, where am I at? I got my 17-year-old daughter that's from my first marriage living with me and my new wife now because I didn't have enough shit in my life and I wanted to have a 24-hour cock block living in my house. That's the way it is. I'm on the road, I miss my wife, I'm feeling romantic, come home, I buy her flowers, I'm lighting candles in the bedroom, a little music playing, and then I hear my kid in the hallway going, "You're not my real mom, I don't have to do what you say." And I'm in the bedroom like, it's scary having a 17-year-old, totally different world than when I grew up. I mean, she went to a party, came home, I said, "How was it?" She said, "Dad, there were girls there that were playing this game where they wear different color lipsticks and they go down on a guy and whoever gets the lowest color's the winner. Like there's a loser in this game." And I tell one of my friends and he goes, "You let your daughter go to parties like that?" I said, "I didn't know it was that kind of party." And he said, "Well, aren't you afraid she's doing that too?" And I said, "Nah, she would never do that." He said, "How do you know?" "Well, I know her mom. If she's anything like her mother, she wouldn't be able to find that party with MapQuest." Her mom was from Omaha, Nebraska, a real Midwest girl, and the kind of girl that wanted to wait until the honeymoon night before she told me she was never going to blow me, which is a nice time to find out. And she didn't, not even on the honeymoon, and I'm not going to ask for it. It's not good when you ask, and you can't make her do it because then you got to get a lawyer. So I figured, here's what I'll do. I'll just do her first and get her all revved up and everything, and then maybe she'll reciprocate. And that's one of the disadvantages of having a positive attitude. So we're in bed, I'm kissing my way down her stomach, and I turn my body in and swing my hips around, so I'm like dangling over her face, because I'm a fucking idiot. And you know, I'm thinking that she thinks the way I do, and she's like, "Hey, there's a dick, maybe I'll suck it." Yeah. You know, that didn't come out right. That's not what I would do. Yeah, that'd be a great thing to do in front of your wife, I'm sure. "Hey, honey, watch this." "You don't see me gagging." "You gotta breathe through your nose." Choking on her. Yeah, like she's gonna stay to listen to that whole thing. Yeah. My daughter, I'm going to go to the movies with my friends. I said, yeah, who, the girls from the blowjob contest? She said, Dad, it's a movie. What could happen at the movies? What could happen at the movies? When I was your age, I remember poking a hole in the bottom of the popcorn cup and sticking my dick up in there. And that's why your Uncle Jeff doesn't talk to me. And my daughter, you know, she comes home from school. She's telling me shit that I didn't know when I was 17. I don't know what she's talking about now. I see a picture of her with two of her girlfriends and these three guys. They all go to high school together, and they're all doing this hand signal thing. Oh, you know what that is? I thought it was a gang thing, and she said, a gang thing? No, you don't know what that is? It's the shocker. This is the shocker. And I found out how it got its name, because when your little girl comes home and tells you that that means two in the pink and one in the stink, it's pretty fucking shocking. I didn't have the heart to tell her that her mom was 6 in the pink and 5 in the stink, but because that takes a lot of maneuvering and an open-minded next-door neighbor. Two in the stink and one in the pink. Fuck, I'm 58. At my age, you don't know which the pink and which the stink is going to be until you get down there. And you didn't need to know that, did you? Gives you something to look forward to when you're growing up. So my daughter lives with me, and I want to talk to her about sex because she's got to get the safe sex talk from me. And I said, you know, you're a young girl, you're beautiful. You know, I can't control what you do, but be responsible for yourself. Don't leave it up to the guy. She said, I know, condoms. I said, yeah, condoms. It's fucked up, but that's the way the world is. And she said, Dad, do you know how hard it is for my boyfriend to put a condom on when we're in the swimming pool? And my dead grandmother appeared in front of me and said, Bob, I'll see you in about 2 minutes. Condom in the swimming pool. Are you shitting me? I'm 58. I've had sex in a swimming pool once. And that was by myself. And that's the last time I smoked pot, because I stopped after that. I was really stoned and had this stupid idea about what would it be like to fly like a bird and come midair. Well, birds don't come midair. That's shit that's falling on you. And so I'm on a diving board. My bathing suit's around my ankles. I got my dick in one hand, the joint in the other, and I'm bouncing up and down. And just at that moment, I'm gonna... And see, that's the problem with being stoned, because, you know, if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't have tried that like at a public pool. Because everybody there wasn't into that fantasy. It's scary. I put my other daughter in a parochial school, and that was a big adjustment for her because we're Jewish. And no, we are. I don't give a shit. I went in there and said, I will gladly accept Jesus Christ as my personal savior if you promise that her hymen will stay intact until graduation day. What they don't tell you when you sign your little girl up at the all-girls school is that right across the street from the all-girls school is the Cock Factory outlet, posing as an all-boys school. It's a different life. Women have a totally different concept of what's exciting in the bedroom than guys. My wife's like, she buys this sex game book that was written by some angry lady, and yeah, no guy would do this to another guy. Here's a game, the housewife and the window washer. I'll be the housewife, you'll be the window washer, I'll be in the bedroom getting undressed, you'll be outside the bedroom washing the window. Yeah, you want me to wash the window? Just tell me to wash the fucking window. You sure this book isn't called How to Trick Your Husband into Doing Shit Around the House? It's gonna be exciting, Bob. I'll be in there getting undressed, you'll be washing the window, you're gonna get turned on, take your dick out, start jerking off. Yeah, I don't need you for that. Start jerking off? Well, not by the window I just washed. But it is exciting when the police pull up, because they don't know you're playing that game. So To them, it looks like a guy masturbating outside of somebody's bedroom window. She said, here's something I'll try. My girlfriend did this with her husband. I'll get dressed up real sexy. You take me out to a bar. I'll go in first, then you come in, but you act like you don't know me. So I go in this place, sit at the bar, buy this girl a drink, we're talking, and my wife comes over and goes, what do you think you're doing? I said, who the fuck are you? Yeah, I found out who she was. I had to start referring to her as the plaintiff. I have a 9-year-old son, Jacob. He lives with my ex and got me in big trouble with her. Trouble with her, trouble at school, trouble at my house. Trouble at school because I tell my son dirty jokes because I'm an irresponsible father. And, you know, I think that kind of shit's funny and I'm not going to be around forever and I figured it'll be something he'll always remember. And he's in school one day and his teacher goes, hey, Jacob, your dad's a comedian. Why don't you tell the class a joke? So he gets up and tells a joke with a punchline like, a rat with a dick like that. And it's, yeah. I get called by the school. I got to go down to the principal's office and meet my ex-wife in there. And then, you know, it's Jacob's got to repeat the joke in front of the three of us. And believe it or not, I was the only one laughing. Then he's visiting me, and my wife comes over and says, you got to go talk to your kid. He's playing with himself in front of other children. And I'm like, what? She said, Bob, he's got his dick out. Do something. Do something? Like what? Come on, kids, stay in line. Everyone's going to get a turn. So she said, be careful how you talk to him about it. You don't want to fuck him up in the head. Yeah, like you're not fucked up in the head already jerking off in front of the neighbors. But he's not jerking off. He doesn't know what that is. But he is playing with his dick. But not with his hand. He's got this toy robot claw thing. You know that thing you squeeze with the hand on the end that goes... And his dick's in there. And he's like... With three kids looking at him like he's David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear. And I'm thinking, geez, how did he find that? That was under my mattress. Got me in trouble with my ex because he was on the road with me and I let him watch From Dusk Till Dawn one night because Jacob likes vampire movies and I like Salma Hayek and I figured, hey, this is a win-win situation. I mean, it's rated R, and his mom's never going to let him watch it, so here's my chance to show him that I love him more than she does. Well, my son got enamored by Cheech in this movie and practically memorized that whole little rant from outside of the Twisted Titty Bar. And I'm driving him back to his mom's house, and he's in the back seat going, we got red pussy, we got white pussy, we got loose pussy, we got tight pussy. He doesn't even know what pussy is. He just thinks it's funny, and so do I. I'm laughing my ass off. Are you kidding? You hear a 9-year-old say, we got loose pussy, and your knees buckle. And he's not stopping, and he's going, we got donkey pussy. We got stinky pussy. Yeah, stinky pussy. I think that's when I lost control of the car. And I'm on the side of the road, and I said, Jacob, I'm begging you. Ixnay on the stinky ussy pay when you get home. Because if you say that in front of your mom, I'm going to get a letter that's going to be real expensive to read. I drop him off, 15 minutes later, here comes the phone call. Stinky pussy? Yeah. Sorry, she doesn't live here anymore. Wish I could have had that kind of response in the courtroom. So my wife wanted to surprise me for our wedding anniversary. We went to Maui in June and for 3 days, which is a nice surprise because it takes about a day and a half to get there. And this is no bullshit. Just when the landing gear's coming down, she says, "Oh no, I think I'm getting my period." And I'm like, "You gotta be shitting me. Don't you get it every time the same month? Why would you plan a romantic getaway on the week you're having your period to a place that's known for shark attacks?" She's like, "Let's go for a swim." I'm not gonna go in there with you. Why don't I just hang out by a boat that's chumming the water? It's the same fucking thing. Get in the water with her. Like the sharks aren't in there going, "Tell me I'm not fucking dreaming." She wants to try scuba diving. I don't want to do scuba diving. I never wanted to. I figure if you got to wear an oxygen tank on your back and a mask and a regulator and flippers and all that other shit, maybe you're not supposed to go down there. Then she shows me a brochure for a 3-man sub. And I said, "You're out of your fucking mind. This thing is like a third of the size of the stage. I'm not getting in there with some strange Hawaiian I never met before." And what? So he takes us down to the bottom of the ocean, and that's when he pulls the brake up and goes, "Here's the part where one of you guys blow me, or we're not going anywhere." Because I don't give a shit. My wife just left me, so I'll stay down here till we fucking die. Now, because you don't know my wife. She'd go, "Bob, start sucking, because we got shit to do today. And we're going to miss the luau." So my wife signed us up for this stupid thing. They pick you up early in the morning and take you to the top of a volcano. You done it? Yeah. Terrific. So you weren't getting laid either that morning. So otherwise, why would you be up that early? She said, "Bob, we're going to be on top of the volcano and you're above the clouds and the sun comes up and it's just you looking at the sun." Yeah. I kind of remember being told you're not supposed to look at the sun. And then we're out front, the minivan comes to pick you up, and the driver goes, "Hey, you better bring a sweater or a jacket because it's real cold up there." Well, I didn't bring a jacket because I thought I was going to be making out with my wife on the beach, not like on Mount Everest looking for my car keys. So I go back to the hotel room, put on I got underwear, my bathing suit over the underwear, shorts over the bathing suit, Levi's over the shorts, a t-shirt, a Hawaiian shirt, and the bathrobe from the hotel. And I'm riding there in this minivan looking like a fucking mental patient on the way back to Bellevue. And then they take you up there, the sun comes up, and they go, "That's it." And they don't take you back to your hotel. They give you a fucking bike to ride back. They do. You have to ride down to this little village, and then they pick you up. I think it's called Pompeii. And I said, "I'm 58. I haven't been on a bike in a long time." He said, "You don't even have to pedal." No, you don't. You just have to keep your sphincter shut so you don't shit on the back wheel and slide off the fucking mountain. But no, you don't have to pedal. She wanted to try parasailing, and that was fun. In Maui, you're on a really beautiful yacht. You got the parachute on, and they let you out like on a giant fishing reel. It's this big reel that unwinds, and you go up there, and they take you around. And at the end, they just reel you in, and you land like right on your seat. Last year, we were in Puerto Vallarta, and they do it a little different over there in Mexico. First of all, the boat's not that nice. Second of all, you're not on the fucking boat. I'm wearing a parachute like a fucking lunatic, standing in front of my hotel with a rope going from me running down the sand into the ocean. And I got some guy next to me going, "See my friend on the boat out there? When he gives you the thumbs up, start running towards the water." Like you have a choice. Like you could turn around and run the other way and pull the boat out of the ocean. And this thing yanks me up in a real unnatural angle, and I'm screaming. I'm terrified. I mean, I am. I'm looking down and I'm going, "Shit, this isn't even their boat. They don't have fucking insurance. This is really a bad idea." And I'm like, "Help!" Then all they hear is, they don't even know what the fuck's going on over there. I take my family on the road sometimes, and it's fun going with them. And my daughter saw this billboard, swim with the dolphins, and she's like, Dad, I want to do that. I said, you know, that's not right. They're supposed to be free in the ocean like God intended, not in a freak show at SeaWorld. And she said, I always wanted to swim with the dolphins. Yeah. Always? Or since you saw the fucking sign? Because I don't remember ever hearing about it before. But we go there, and for what they charge, you should be able to swim with the Miami Dolphins. I said, look, here's how it's going to work. You walk near the edge of the pool, I'll bump into you. You slip and fall in there, pet him a few times, and then let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no, she don't want to do it like that. It's only fun if I pay. So then you pay, and they take you in a room where they got a guy that tells you what you can do and what you can't do when you're in the water with the dolphin. And he's got a scar from here across his face like that. Yeah, like he kind of knows what you're not supposed to do. And he says, rule number 1, do not stick anything into the blowhole. And that did it for me right there. I'm on the floor crying, and my kids, yeah. Are you kidding? And she's like, Dad, it's not funny. And I said, yes, it is. And I'll tell you why. Because that means somebody already stuck something in the blowhole. And basically what they're saying is they don't want it to happen again. Okay, now you can pet the dolphin's nose, don't grab his tail, no poking in the eye. No poking in the eye? Wow, the place down the street, they give you a stick to... And then he says, boys and girls, the dolphin's got a real soft belly, and you can rub his belly, but don't go past where the belly button would be, because he's got the same thing you've got. When I said the dolphin's got herpes? Well, how the fuck did you know I have that? Hey, you start talking like that, and that pool empties real fast. And you have an opportunity to have some real quality one-on-one time with the dolphin while everyone else is rinsing off. You do stink after you swim with them. I remember driving back to the hotel, I practically begged my kids to shit in their pants just to freshen it up in the car a little bit. Swim with the dolphins. They should leave animals alone, you know? That's why I wasn't surprised when that thing happened with Siegfried and Roy. You take a tiger that God created in the jungle where it belongs, and you spray paint him white, and take him to Las Vegas. Yeah, the rare white tiger. Yeah, why? Because you almost ran out of paint? Put this poor animal on stage with lasers and smoke machines and music and 2 fags chasing each other around up there. I mean, how long do you think that was going to go before the tiger was like, this shit ends tonight? Say goodbye, motherfucker, because it's over. And if I had to bet who was going to get hurt, Siegfried or Roy, I would have always put my money on Roy. Because Siegfried doesn't do a fucking thing. Roy's the one that always takes the chances. He's the guy with the head in the tiger's mouth. And Siegfried's like, ta-da! Hey, how about that? Yeah, how about that, douchebag? Get over there with him. He's literally as far away as you can be from Roy and the tiger and still legally be in the showroom. And he's got a mic in one hand and a doorknob in the other. And now, Roy's gonna paint his dick like a porterhouse steak and wave it in front of the hungry tiger. While I slip out to the Pottery Barn to pick out a duvet cover. I remember the night that happened, and they said a lady in the audience had a weird hairdo and the tiger freaked out. And then nobody went for it. And the next day it was, the tiger didn't attack Roy. He thought he was having a stroke, and he was dragging him off stage to safety. Yeah, the tiger thought Roy was having a stroke? That's something, because the way I understand it, most tigers that go to med school don't specialize in neurology. Hey, looks like Roy's having a stroke. Maybe I'll bite his head off. That should lower his blood pressure. Fucking Siegfried. I just saw Roy and he couldn't talk. Yeah, surprised? Couldn't talk. What was he gonna say besides, where the fuck were you? Some boyfriend I got. When you want head, then it's Roy, Roy, Roy. And then I see him on TV with Maria Shriver, and Siegfried said the tiger that bit Roy was not destroyed and still lives in the house with them, and that they're not afraid of him. Well, I want to hear Roy say that. That's Siegfried. Hey, Roy. Not afraid. That'd be great to sneak up behind him and go, there would be shit flying out of his shirt sleeves. Oh yeah, we went to this amusement park, and my daughter wanted me to go on this roller coaster with her. I don't like roller coasters, and they're not even the kind I grew up with. I mean, you know, it's not like Thomas the Train where you're pop, 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 pop. This thing is, I think it was called Dueling Diarrhea. It's at Universal Studios. You know what I'm talking about? Takes off in two opposite directions at the same time, and at the end, they just miss each other. Well, I don't need that kind of shit in my life. And this thing is basically a little wider than a meat hook, and you're just hanging from that. Your legs are hanging free, your arms are hanging free. There's a metal bar, and then the guy you're going to get killed with. And they got some 17-year-old checking your seatbelt, and I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. You can't even control your own complexion. I'm not going to put my life in your hands. And they don't even warn you. This thing takes off like a rocket sled. I mean, they don't go, is everybody ready to go? This guy's like, I heard tomorrow. And all you hear is screams for like 8 seconds, and then it's back. And everyone looks like they just saw where you go when you die. They do. They do. My daughter said, Dad, she took me to a video booth. Look, we can get a picture of you and me on the roller coaster. Everybody on there is like this. like they're coming out of a funeral home on a conveyor belt. I said, I'm not going on. She said, really, Dad? And I said, I don't want to do it. I just, She said, look at all the kids on this ride. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, how about the roller coaster derails at 180 miles an hour and we fly out into the parking lot? And then I'm steering myself in a wheelchair by blowing in a straw for the rest of my life. Sound like a fair trade for 8 seconds on a ride? Not to mention what that would do for my career. Here's your headliner, Robert Schimmel. Yeah. Not funny, but how long do you think you could live like that before your wife's banging some other guy? And they're doing it right in your house, and you can't even catch them because they can hear you coming. So they're in another room doing it, and you're like, shit, your husband's coming. It's gonna take him 20 minutes, don't stop. I put a speed bump in the hallway. I don't know where the idea for that joke came from. But I do remember the first time I did it, I was at a theater in Michigan, and I came off stage. There was like 400 people in the lobby, and all of a sudden the crowd parts, and here's a guy in a wheelchair blowing himself over to me, and everyone in the crowd's like, I gotta see this. And I'm like, oh man, you're pissed off about the joke, right? He said, I'm a little upset. And I said, I didn't mean anything malicious by it. And he said, oh, I got a sense of humor about being in a wheelchair, but there's like 9 different ways my wife and I can have sex, and you didn't mention any of them. And then I felt really shitty, because I was married for 29 years, and we only had 2 ways. And one of them she didn't have to be there for. I got to host the Adult Film Awards. It's called the AVN Awards, and oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah, it's a fun event, the Porno Awards, and a real boost for your career, too. I can't tell you. Once you hand out the biggest cock in the world award, the networks start a real bidding war over you. So, but they do send you every porno movie that's nominated in case you want to watch them and write jokes about them, you know, so, because there's a lot of joke writing going on when you're watching porno movies. I can't tell you how many times I was like, gee, I thought of something funny. Let me stop what I'm doing and find a pen. One of the movies I got was nominated for Best Foreign Adult Film. It was called Budapest Gangbang. And the star of the movie is this black porno guy, Lexington Steele. I don't know how big his dick is for real, but a building was on fire and people were sliding down it to safety. And my mom and dad are both from Budapest, so I wanted to fuck with my dad. And I said, hey, Dad, look, Budapest Gangbang. And he said, you know, I'd like to borrow that and see if there's any places in there I remember. So I took Mandalay Bay. I take my mom and dad with me because part of the deal is I get 2 suites on the VIP floor. They never get to stay like that. They get signed for everything, and they're not going to go to the awards. And we're checking in, and 15 feet away from us is Lexington Steele. And my mother recognizes him. Which is bad. That means she watched the movie with my dad. And she's like, Budapest Gangbang, am I right? And I'm like, fuck me. I don't know who feels worse, me, that my mother's recognizing the porno guy in the lobby, or Lexington Steele, who's thinking, this is what I attract? And my mom's out of her mind, and she walks over to him and says, will you please tell my kid that your penis isn't really that big? And I said, Ma, I don't have an issue with it. She said, come on, Bob, it's a trick. He trims his pubic hair short, that's why it looks bigger. Really? How long do you think his pubic hair was? It's a trick, are you shitting me? He could fuck you, Dad, and me at the same time and still have enough dick left to push the elevator button. So then I go out there, I do like 15 minutes of stand-up, I announce the categories, the nominees, and bring the winners up. And for these people, that's their Academy Awards. And this lady wins for Best Female in an Anal Gangbang Scene. Yeah, and there's music playing, and she's crying on the way up to the stage, and, well, who wouldn't? And she has the award going, gee, I never won anything before in my life. I want to thank God. Yeah, let's leave God out of the anal gangbang, right? Because the stage is going to bust open and the devil himself is going to jump out and go, I can't fucking believe you said that. And I'm pretty open-minded, but that shit's wrong. And then she says, I want to thank my husband. Husband? And the guy runs up there. She has her arm around him, and she said, you know, in the movies, guys fuck me in the ass and jack off on my tits, but this is the only guy I kiss on the lips. Wow. Hey, lucky you, huh? Boy, those other guys don't know what they're missing. You don't have a sister, do you? Because that's the kind of girl I'm looking for. Someone that'll fuck everyone else and then come home and make out with me. That's all phony, that porno shit. You know, guys want to believe it's real. It's not. No guy comes like that like they do in the movies. There's somebody standing behind him like throwing fucking Hands of Ivory Snow liquid at the wall, you know. That's because it's never like that with me, you know. It's like, boom. And the amount of semen that comes out of my dick is so small, it's actually not enough for gravity to kick in. It just hovers on the end of my dick. Yeah. And if I shake it, it runs up the back and I come in my ass. Yeah. Which is a real nice thing to do the night before a colonoscopy. When you go to the doctor and he goes, you know, Robert, I found semen in your rectum. Yeah, it's not what you think. It's mine. For those of you that don't know about me, on June 5th, 2000, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I was stage 3, too late for radiation, could only get chemotherapy, and they said if it didn't work, I had about 6 months. If it did, I had a 49% chance of going 2 years without a reoccurrence, and on June 5th, I hit 8 years since the day I was diagnosed. Thank you. I'm a lucky guy. Thanks. And I did lose a ball. That's not funny, lady. I thought I had the flu. I went to the doctor. I said, you know, I'm feeling tired and I'm getting these night sweats. And he said, your left testicle feels funny. I want to do a biopsy. And I'm like, a biopsy on my ball? So what do you stick like a needle in there and you take shit out? And he said, a needle? Robert, who told you that? I'm going to take your testicle out and then we do the biopsy. Like, oh. But no needle, right? I said, but if it's nothing, how do you put it back in? He said, we don't. I said, so then I got one ball for the rest of my life? He said, Robert, there's a lot of guys walking around with one ball. Wow, what a great club to be in. I couldn't be in the big dick club, right? I gotta be in the one ball club. He said, geez, Robert, I could put a fake one in and no one will ever know. And I don't want a fake ball. He said, okay, but if you ever get divorced and you start dating again, you want to explain to every girl that sticks her hand down there why you only got one? And I'm like, wow, what a sales pitch. Go fuck yourself, pal. So here's the bad thing about having the fake ball. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, you think I didn't get it after he said that? No one will ever know. Yeah, right. I got to go for an MRI. I'm laying on the table. Got this real cute nurse in there, and she says, Mr. Schimmel, before we do the scan, I got to ask you a couple questions. Got any dentures or prosthetic devices? And I'm like, fuck this guy. No one will know. I got to tell this girl I got a fake ball? I can't. I can't do it. I can't look at her and say, one of my balls isn't real. What? They're having a sale at Nordstrom's. But I don't want to go into the machine and have it go... because they don't tell you what could happen, and you can't say, hypothetically, if my friend had a fake ball and he didn't tell you, what could happen to him? I'm in my doctor's office with my mom and dad. My oncologist comes in, tells me that I have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He said there's Hodgkin's disease and non-Hodgkin's. And then he says, if you're open-minded, you might consider marijuana because it helps with the nausea and the appetite. And my parents are sitting there devastated with my diagnosis, and I'm thinking, this is a dream come true. I got a guy at Mayo Clinic telling my parents I could smoke pot. Where the fuck were you 25 years ago? And one night, my mom called me. She said, I'm coming to visit. Is there anything I could bring you? I said, yeah, could you stop at the 7-Eleven and get me some rolling papers? And my mom's 82. She's a Holocaust survivor. It's like Dr. Ruth buying rolling papers. And she calls me from there and says, Bob, they got like 8 different kinds. I don't know what to get. I said, just get the one. There's like a white pack with a guy's face on it. And she said, not the anti-Semitic looking guy. And I said, what, the zigzag guy's anti-Semitic? I remember the first day I went to chemotherapy. I walked into the infusion center, and it's staggering the first time you go in there. You know that poster, The Evolution of Man? It's like that in reverse. I walk in, and I look pretty much like I do now. And then I look down the beds, and I see people losing their hair, people really sick, and that's what I'm going to be turning into. And I sat down on the seat. They're hooking me up for the IV, and there's a guy next to me, and I said, how you doing? He said, how do you think I'm doing? I have cancer. I said, me too. He said, good for you. Wow, how many more of these treatments do I have? So the nurse comes over and says, Robert, you know what? Change your seat. This guy's got a bad attitude. You don't need to be around that. He's angry at the world. You know, you need all your energy to stay positive. And I couldn't change my seat because I had to know what made him turn into that, because I didn't want to become him. And I felt challenged to make him laugh, no matter how shitty the circumstances were. So I sat down and I said, did you go to any support group meetings? And he said, nah, I don't believe in that shit. I don't want to hear people piss and moan about their problems. I got my own thing. And I said, well, I went last night because, you know, I wanted to be prepared for today. And there was a lady that was there, and she was crying, and she said, you know, I'm going to lose one of my breasts, and I'm afraid my husband's not going to find me sexy anymore. And I said, I was looking at this lady thinking, you wouldn't be sexy with 3 tits. And this guy fell out of his fucking chair. This guy... It's true. My treatments were every 21 days. 21 days later, I go back for my next chemo. That guy was saving a seat for me and told me dirty jokes for 4 hours. And when I did my first show after that, he was front row at my first show. It was really fucking cool. It really was. I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't scared, because I was. And I prayed, and it was hard for me to pray because I don't all the time. And now I'm laying in bed looking up there thinking, boy, this is like a friend I haven't talked to for 10 years, and now I'm asking him to lend me $500. You know, and you do make those promises. I mean, you bargain with God the same way you do, like when you get drunk the first time, and you're hugging the toilet and throwing up and trying not to get any on the walls. And you do the same thing with cancer. Let me get through this, and I'll be a better person, a better dad, a better father. I'll get rid of the bullshit in my life. I'll learn to live every day to the fullest. And then one day I was thinking, isn't it sad that for some people you gotta be like that before you give yourself permission to live your life to the fullest? You should be doing that every single day of your life. You don't need to wait until then. No sex during chemotherapy, because the chemo comes out in your bodily fluids. And once I went for a checkup, and he said, Robert, you're not having sex, are you? And I said, well, does a blowjob count as sex? And he said, yes. I said, then no. They say some crazy shit. He said, Robert, you have some open sores in your mouth right now, and your immune system is really compromised. And while you're like this, I implore you to avoid any kind of oral, anal contact. And I said, do I look like an ass eater to you? Oral, anal contact? Yeah, like cancer's not enough. Let me eat somebody's asshole and get hepatitis so I could really give my doctor a run for his money. I was on chemotherapy for 8 months, lost all my hair. The pubic hair is probably the hardest thing for guys to deal with because, you know, there's a double standard when it comes to pubic hair. Girls, you can shave yours off. Guys think it's sexy. A 50-year-old man with a bald dick, bad news. Didn't even look like a dick anymore. It looked like a small plucked bird fell in my lap and broke its neck during the fall. And I got a guy that comes to see me that sells wigs, because some people buy wigs when they're on chemotherapy. And I said, no. And the guy goes, they're really good now. They're virtually undetectable. And I said, really? Because I was bald when I started treatment. So it would be kind of obvious if I walk out of here with a full head of hair. I said, I don't give a shit about that. But if you guys sell dick wigs, we could talk. And he said, well, Robert, as a matter of fact, we do. And I said, you sell dick wigs? You've got to be shitting me. Cancer's not enough. I got the fucking dick wig sales rep in my room. He said, it's not called a dick wig. It's called a merkin. It's phony pubic hair. They've been around since the late 1800s. And Robert, they're so good now, no one will know. Yeah, no one will know because no one looks down here on me. It looks like a fucking donut. It does. It's like a Dunkin' Donut that somebody dropped on a barbershop floor. I'm not making this shit up. And it's got a hole in the middle that you slip your dick through, and then it locks on with some kind of Velcro shit, and like you're ever going to be able to convince the girl that you trim your pubic hair with a protractor. And they have different models. There's not just one. There's the executive, the adventurer, salt and pepper, the surfer. It's the stupidest fucking thing I ever bought in my life. It really is. Thanks. On June 5th, 2000, they told me that after I lose a testicle and 8 months of chemotherapy, I would be sterile, could never have children. As a matter of fact, they said if we were even considering children, I had a day and a half to donate sperm. And I went to the donating place, and I chickened out and ran out of there because I was sitting in the waiting room. And then they were like, Robert Schimmel. I'm like, oh, fuck. Why would I use my real name at the Jack-Off Center? Because you go in, and I go, hi, and she hands me this cup and goes, here you go. And I said, thanks. And she says, all right. I said, okay. She said, okay. She said, you can go in there. I said, nah, I like it out here. You can't like it out here. I can't like what? And she won't say it. And I'm not jerking off in the cup unless someone tells me to jerk off in the cup. Because I don't want to do it and come back and go, here you go, and have her go, what's this? Well, you know, You did what? So I figured, you know what? I'm 50 years old. I have children. I'm lucky to be alive. You know, I'm going through this thing. And on June 5th, 2003, exactly 3 years to the day that I was diagnosed, my wife and I had a son. His name is Sam. And thank you. The odds of that happening were like 1 in 1.5 million. And the odds of him being black were like 75 million to 1. That's kind of wrong that you're laughing at that on like all kinds of levels. No, it's great. It really is. And my wife buys the kid a dog. She goes, you know what? Little boys should have a puppy and they grow up together and they're best friends and everything. So what does she get him? A Yorkshire Terrier. Because she wants to make sure they grow up to be big fags. This dog, I've shit bigger than this dog. And she has a collar with bells on it. It's not good for him. Charlie, and he's like ding 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 ding. This can't, they don't chase mice, they don't do anything. You can find a glory hole, I think. They go, the glory hole, right over there. So. Okay, now I want to show you a few things. That's me on June 7th, 2000, at Mayo Clinic for my first chemotherapy. That's my nurse, Jody, a day that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. That's one of the drugs I had to get. It's called adriamycin. And I said to the nurse, how come you're wearing those rubber gloves? She said, I can't get this on my skin. And I said, you're shooting that right in my fucking vein. That's me after my third treatment, and you could already see the changes. Jodi's now a brunette, and she put on about 35 pounds. I know I don't look good there, but I'm actually getting a blowjob under the blanket. That's me when I found out what my copay really was. You know, they say you can't put a price on good health. Well, Mayo Clinic actually does have a price. That's me before my last chemotherapy. I was about 128 pounds there, and as bad as that looks, 8 days later, my dad and my manager snuck me out of the hospital, took me up to Las Vegas. That's my dad on the right, that's my manager on the left, and oh, by the way, he told me to tell you that that was 9 years ago, and he lost that weight. And I went out and did a show and was back in my hospital bed that night, but I refused to cancel because I would not give cancer that kind of power over my life. That's my daughter, Jessica, and Aaliyah. That's Jessica on the left, that's Aaliyah on the right. Jessica was in U of A in Tucson when I got diagnosed, dropped out for a half a year to help take care of me. Aaliyah, my 17-year-old, I couldn't ask for better children than them. And there we are swimming with the dolphins. Obviously, I have to have Aaliyah on the other side so the dolphin doesn't know what the shocker is. That's Jacob and I at Disneyland. Jacob's the one that I let watch from dusk till dawn, who went home and told my ex-wife the stinky pussy story that got me in big trouble. And that's Salma Hayek. She was in From Dusk Till Dawn. That's Sam. Sam was born on June 5th, 2003, exactly 3 years to the day I was diagnosed. He's got to wear these fucked up glasses for the rest of his life, but he's my kid and I love him. And there he is with his little brother, Max. Max is 3. And as you can tell from the picture, the dog's already done its damage to my children because they're both fagged up pretty good already. And there's the dog. This dog is like one bark away from the garbage disposal. That's me on the roller coaster. That's Aaliyah sitting next to me. See, I really did do this shit. I'm not making this up. And I'm not posing there. That guy behind me is grabbing my balls. Sorry, ball. And that's the reason I'm standing on this stage right now. Because when my wife found out about her, that's when the shit really hit the fan. And I am standing here tonight because I can't afford to take off. So I just went for a checkup. Everything's cool. I had to get a colonoscopy. I know a lot of guys don't like doing it, but you know, it's not bad. They give you some great medication, and you don't even know what the fuck's going on until you see yourself on YouTube later. And yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, because you're like really out of it. You know, he's going, Robert, you feel the medication? Okay, we're going to start the procedure now. And at that point, I'm thinking that's when they're taking their dicks out, you know, and they got the video camera, and it's like, Bob, you're a baby calf, and I'm your mom, and it's feeding time. But the night before the colonoscopy, they gave me a gallon jug of this stuff to drink called Go Lightly. That's what it's called. I don't know how they came up with that name. It should be called Cramp and Shit Like a Motherfucker. And I'll tell you why. I've had diarrhea before, and this is not diarrhea. Diarrhea, you get a warning. It might only be 5 seconds, but your asshole attempts to send a signal to your brain. Hey, pal, if I was you, and I am you, I'd head to the bathroom right now. Go Lightly, I thought I was going to sneeze, and I shit in my socks. You don't even have time to go, is the bathroom that way, or... And it says on the bottle, warning, this may cause loose stools. Really? I would have been happy with loose stools. My shit came out like in a mist. It was like, ah! I pulled my pants down and the back of my legs looked like I OD'd on self-tanning lotion. It was the first time ever that I sat on the toilet and went where it was like, and got up and the water was still clear. It went everywhere but down. I had shit on my shirt collar. Go lightly. I'm gonna fix that fucking guy. The next time I have to get a colonoscopy, I am not gonna stay up all night drinking Go Lightly. I'm gonna stay up all night eating garlic and chili and onions, and then I'm gonna drink the Go Lightly in his parking lot before I go up there. So when I lay on the table and he spreads my cheeks, it'll be like a sewer line exploded. Wow. I never apologize for anything that I say on stage, but I do want you to know before I go that I do not think that cancer is funny, and I was not making light of anything that any of you have gone through, either personally or with someone that you love. I was talking exclusively about myself and how I found humor in it and how I believe it helped me get through it. You know, I saw a great quote the other day: life is not about surviving the storm, it's learning how to dance in the rain. All of us wind up in a storm in our lives. You know, I gotta tell you, it's coming on stage and feeling the energy that you feel from the audience. That's when I feel like I got my dancing shoes on and I can dance in the rain anytime. I love doing this. They say laughter is the best medicine. I really do believe that with my heart, not just for the people laughing, for the people on the receiving end of the laughter too. So thank you so much for your laughter tonight. You don't know what it means. Thank you very much. You guys are an awesome crowd. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thanks. Have a great night. Because I'm never going to forget this one. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, you know, fuck, I never thought cancer would be a career move. I never got that kind of response when I was healthy. Life is great. This was so much fun for me. You would have to be in my shoes to know how unbelievable this was for me tonight. Thank you very, very much. Thanks. Thank you. See you again. Thank you very, very much.